Survivor 46 is here, and so is On Fire, the only official Survivor podcast, and we have a twist this season. The winner of Survivor 45, Dee Valladares, will be joining us every week.
We're going behind the scenes of the biggest moments, the how and the why things happen, and the strategy and analysis you can only get from someone like me, a Survivor winner.
Listen to On Fire, the official Survivor podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Alex Rodriguez.
And I'm Jason Kelly.
From Bloomberg, this is The Deal. Each week, you'll hear us in conversation with business icons.
This show will explore deal-making across sports, media, and entertainment.
That is a harsh lesson in business.
Sports is not as simple as bringing a bunch of big names together.
I didn't want to do another stomp you out speech.
It opened up so many more doors.
The show is called The Deal.
Listen to The Deal.
Listen to The Deal on Spotify.
With threats to our nation waiting around every corner, adaptability is more important than ever. When conditions change without notice, quick strategic thinking is crucial. And with obstacles consistently impending, determination is essential in overcoming them. It's this willingness, decisiveness, and resilience that sets Marines apart. With our fighting spirit, we don't just fight battles, we win them. Marines are the constant our nation counts on to fight the unknown. And through adaptable problem solving, we do just that. Learn more at marines.com.
Does Monday at the office feel like a storm? Not with Microsoft Copilot. That feeling when Copilot gets everyone up to speed instantly? It's sunny again. When Copilot simplifies complex data so your teams can act, that sun's shining on a beach. And when Copilot uncovers hidden insights, you're on that beach with your people, and you find buried treasure. That's Microsoft Copilot. Learn more at Microsoft.com/AI for all.
Welcome back, Ram fans. This is Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are proud members of the Fans First Sports Network. That's fansfirstsports.com. You can also follow us on YouTube. Our channel is at LA Rams Up. I'm your host, Mark. You'll hear from my co-host, Tom, on occasion as well. Hey, we're not Rams insiders. We're just longtime fans who love talking about our Los Angeles Rams. Let's get to it. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 388 here of Rams Up. I'm going to be reviewing Paul Walia's mock draft, our 6th mock draft. You can watch it unfold on the YouTube channel. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. And my offer still stands. You want to come on board, join us for a mock draft, channel less need, and make the picks. Let me know. Send me an email and we will make the arrangements. Before we get started, I had a faux pas yesterday's episode, and it finally occurred to me, I think in the middle of the night, that I messed this up. I was talking about Rome Odunze and how awesome it would be if he fell to the Rams, and I quoted him something to the effect of him saying that you got to block if you want to rock. I misattributed that. That was actually Roman Wilson, the Michigan wide receiver. Rome Odunze, Roman Wilson. Odunze, a first-round prospect. Wilson, second or third round. In my defense, pretty easy mistake to make, but it was actually Roman Wilson who made that comment. Episode 388, I'm going to talk about a guy who wore number 88, and it's not who you think. A couple of really good candidates, actually, but I'm going to talk about Eddie Kennison, this speed-burning wide receiver. 6'1", 201 pounds, drafted by the Rams, the 18th overall pick, first-round pick in the 1996 draft. That was Rich Brooks' last year as coach of the Rams. He was with the Rams for 3 years and then returned briefly in 2008 after playing for 4 other teams, most notably the Chiefs for 7 years. Had a pretty nice career. Coming out of college, he was a 6-time All-American sprinter at his LSU Pro Day. Ran a 40-yard dash in 4.28 seconds. Not too shabby. His first season with the Rams, 29 catches, 423 yards, and 2 TDs. Second most by a rookie that year behind Terry Glenn. That offense, though, was not very good. That was the same year that the Rams drafted Tony Banks, Lawrence Phillips, and Ernie Conwell. His last 2 years in St. Louis, Kennison played for Dick Vermeil, left right before the greatest show on turf took off. Finished his Ram career with 96 catches, 1,562 yards, and 10 TDs. He also returned 3 punts for TDs. Eddie Kennison, our number 88 for the then St. Louis Rams. Some other news of interest, Brandon Staley, the former Chargers coach and Rams defensive coordinator, signing up with the 49ers to help their defense. Now, Nick Sorensen is their new defensive coordinator after they fired Steve Wilks. Not sure exactly what Staley will be doing on that staff, but he'll help out a lot, I think. Saw an interesting quote in one article. Defensive tackle Aaron Donald and cornerback Jalen Ramsey both earned first-team All-Pro nods under Staley's guidance. I kind of think that maybe is a little bit backwards. I don't know how much Staley had to do with that. I'm sure it helped, but talking about two of the best players in the National Football League, I'm not sure how much Staley's guidance had to do with that. Not to besmirch his contributions, but Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, come on. Now, another reminder, I'm not going deep into the weeds as far as the NFL scouting combine. I don't think that's very entertaining on a podcast, but I will hit some highlights real quickly. Fastest time ever, Xavier Worthy, the wide receiver out of Texas, 4.21 seconds. And Ladd McConkey, the guy I have been talking about for several weeks here, no secret anymore. He looked really good. Chop Robinson and Braden Fisk also looking good. And Caleb Williams passing on medical exams. And you know what? I don't blame him for that. Apparently each of these teams can poke and probe over and over again. And he said, you know what? I'm probably going to be the number 1 pick on the draft. I'm not going to subject myself to that. Can't say I blame him. We're going to talk more about that on our roundtable. We'll revisit Paul Walia's Puka Power Picks. And a lot of them really standing out just as he predicted. So let's take a look at Paul's mock draft, our 6th mock draft. And remember, a couple of assumptions going into this draft. The Rams have re-signed either Coleman Shelton or Kevin Dotson. So we have a little bit of breathing room along the interior, but still have some issues to address. And the Rams have signed a Tier 2 cornerback. Could be Ahkello Witherspoon, could be somebody else. No trading up, no trading back. And what does Paul do with his first pick, number 19 overall? Jackson Powers Johnson, the interior offensive lineman out of Oregon. Gives the Rams some flexibility, regardless of which interior offensive lineman they sign. Powers Johnson solidifies the interior. Avila can play at left guard, still could move to center though. Jackson Powers Johnson can fill in at center. Man, could you imagine Avila, Jackson Powers Johnson, and Kevin Dotson? That would be pretty exciting. This is what Paul had to say about JPJ, as he calls him.
He can play center and he can play guard. And since prior, obviously, to this draft, when both Coleman and Dotson hit free agency, a lot of people on, for example, ESPN, NFL.com, they're saying JPJ now makes a perfect fit for the Rams. It makes a lot of sense. I also think he's the most player, like sort of the player that you can walk in from day one, right next to Avila, ready to go, whether it's guard, whether it's center, not a problem.
Paul's second pick, number 52 overall, he went to the trenches again, this time on the defensive side. Defensive lineman Chris Jenkins out of Michigan. 6'3", 285, stout against the run, probably not a big pass rush threat. Paul kind of reinforced this real time during his draft.
All right, bingo. All right, we're good to go. Chris Jenkins. So he played largely, hit a lot of run defense duties because at Michigan, that was their big thing, control the line of scrimmage. His dad is Cullen Jenkins, so I love the NFL bloodlines. His technique, once again, a player that can walk in tomorrow, be ready to play. His technique is so advanced in comparison to other D linemen. I also watched what he did at the combine. Very, 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 very well prepared, very athletic, just scratching the surface. The one criticism is that He didn't flash too much pass rush ability. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Look at his size. He's about 6'2", 297. So he's definitely a shorter stature player, but he's not a small player, and I love the way he plays the run.
Getting to the Rams' third pick, number 83 overall in the third round, Paul took an edge rusher out of Penn State. Now, everybody's well aware of Chop Robinson. On the opposite side, Adisa Isaac. No slouch himself, has excellent measurables for the position, 6'5", 250. This is what Paul had to say about Isaac.
Got a great story for you, Mark. You see this kid right here from Adisa Isaac, who played opposite Chop Robinson, Canarsie High School right here in Brooklyn. Shout out to Adisa Isaac. With edge, you can never have too many pass rushers. So, when you start talking about rotational players, and what does that mean at home, Ram Nation, is that there are certain edge players, like for example, Jared Verse. Jared Verse is so sought after as a prospect because not only can he rush the passer, he's a 60 snap player, meaning he can play the run, he can set the edge, he can go after the pass rusher. So that's a very unique position on the edge. So we have several rotational players. I think O'Shawn Mathis is definitely going to take a step forward. The question is Byron Young, is he going to be an every down player or is he going to be a rotational player? So we want as many players to sort of into that mix. Adisa Isaac has great length. He has shown the speed. What he has to really, I guess, demonstrate on a consistent basis is that he can be stout against the run.
I'm Alex Rodriguez.
And I'm Jason Kelly.
From Bloomberg, this is The Deal. Each week, you'll hear us in conversation with business icons.
This show will explore deal-making across sports, media, and entertainment.
That is a harsh lesson in business.
Sports is not as simple as bringing a bunch of big names together.
I didn't want to do another stomp you out speech.
It opened up so many more doors.
The show is called The Deal.
Listen to The Deal.
Listen to The Deal on Spotify.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
This episode is brought to you by Hyperice, the leader in advanced warm-up and recovery technology. They have tons of innovative products, like Venom-heated wearables to help soothe sore back muscles, Normatec compression boots to speed up recovery and increase circulation, and Hypervolt massage guns to improve mobility. Loved by athletes like Naomi Osaka and Erling Haaland. Try them yourself. Get 10% off your order with the code MOVE at Hyperice.com.
Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
It's only a kick, a jump, a block. It's only a serve. It's only a tackle, a run. It's only for the fans. After all, it's only pressure. You got this. Adidas.
The next pick in Paul's mock was number 100 overall. This is that comp pick that they got for the Raheem Morris hiring by the Atlanta Falcons. Paul selected the defensive back, the cornerback out of Auburn, DJ James. Tall and rangy cornerback, 6 feet even and 174 pounds. This is what Paul had to say about DJ James after making the pick.
We're going to take that corner, DJ James from Auburn. They say he's a little on the thin side. Listen, once you get into the NFL, you start working out every day, you start eating that good food. That'll change in a heartbeat.
Rams had 3 fifth-round picks, and with the first one, Paul took a guy that's quickly becoming one of our favorite prospects, running back Ray Davis out of Kentucky.
Taking a running back this high, Ram Nation, I know is almost pointless because we know Sean McVay doesn't run the ball that much. But hey, you know what? Yeah, Ray Davis, originally from San Francisco, California, one of 14 siblings. Parents had some personal difficulties, and he spent a large part of his time as a youngster homeless, sleeping at friends' houses, and basically wondering where his next meal would come from. Would always find his way to school, would always find his way to sports. It was his way to stay connected with people and sort of get his mind off of everything. Really positive coping strategy. Eventually got a ride home one day from one of his friend's parents. She started talking to him. She found out about his story, helped him, and eventually got a boarding school scholarship right out here in New York, Dutchess County. Then finished up his last year out at Blair, I think it's Blair Prep School in New Jersey, and got a scholarship offered at Temple. Played at 3 different schools. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the only player to have 1,000 yards at 3 different schools, 2 of them SEC schools, and just destroyed it at Kentucky. Just an absolute beast. High character kid. Today at the combine, everybody was raving about him. He can do it all. He can catch out of the backfield. He can run between the tackles. He can bounce it outside. He's a classic one cut and trample monster. Decent size, 5'11". They have him down here 5'11", 210. But just a great player, an unbelievable athlete.
Rams had back-to-back picks, number 153 and number 154 overall. And with that 154th pick, Paul took another one of our favorite players, Sione Vaki, the safety out of Utah. And man, these are 2 players, Ray Davis and Sione Vaki, that we're going to be thrilled with if the Rams find a way to get both of these guys on their roster.
He's a great box safety. He has the athleticism to cover tight ends and backs out of the backfield. He's a vicious hitter, can bring a lot to the table, not just a Swiss Army knife, but a legitimate ball player. Just has a great attitude.
Can return kicks.
Can return kicks if needed. Just uber talented. And now you pair him with somebody like Lake, or you use him sort of as a hybrid linebacker type because he's a big kid. I think you have something special.
Rams have a comp pick at the end of the 5th round, number 177 overall. And Paul goes back to the offensive line, picks Roger Rosengarten out of Washington. Interesting prospect, 6'5", 303, a potential eventual replacement for Rob Havenstein. Could potentially play the left side as well. Take a flyer on a seasoned offensive lineman out of the Pac-12. Not a bad move.
This tackle from Washington is, if you have time, go back to the Senior Bowl drills. This guy's the best feet in that whole segment. This kid can move, a nice developmental tackle. A lot of these guys that are a little bit light, he's a little bit lighter. They had him listed at, I think, at 285, 290. However, he's not a small player, and he does not shy away from contact. I'm going to go Roger Rosengarten, get some more depth on the O-line.
Rams have 4 picks in the 6th round, number 191 overall. Paul goes with Jordan Travis, the quarterback out of Florida State, coming off that injury, but man, he would be a great prospect and a guy that could potentially step in as a backup quarterback sooner rather than later. And he was another one of Paul's Puka Power picks as well.
Let's do Jordan Travis. And Ram Nation, I know this might raise a couple of eyebrows for the Rams to have the luxury of bringing this kid in and developing him. He's such a character kid. And I think he's a much more talented thrower than people are giving him credit for. Part of when you run the draft is to really look at how much value can you extract from every pick. This kid we took, just so everybody knows, 153, 154, you're looking at 5th round. Now we're in the 6th round. In the 6th round, we got a tackle, and now we got a developmental quarterback.
Paul's last 3 picks, all in the 6th round, number 212 overall, he took Marcus Rozemi-Jacksaint, the wide receiver out of Georgia. Number 217 overall, MJ Devonshire, the cornerback out of Pittsburgh. And the Rams' last pick, 218 overall, Marcus Harris, a defensive lineman out of Auburn, 6'2", 284, most likely a 5 technique. And we've talked a lot about Devonshire. He's a guy that some say may not even be drafted, but the more you see this guy, the more film you watch of him, man, you want him on your team as well, and I think he's going to get drafted for sure, possibly even in the 5th round. So there you have it. Our 6th mock draft, this one by Paul Walia, and I really like this one. You got to feel really good about addressing that offensive line, the interior there, and adding an edge rusher like Isaac, add to the cornerback room at Ray Davis and Sione Vaki. Like this draft a lot. And one characteristic about this draft that, hey, not a bad idea, all bigger schools with really good football programs. You got Oregon, Michigan, Penn State, Auburn, Kentucky, Utah, Washington, Florida State, Georgia, Pittsburgh, and Auburn again. Now, Kentucky may not have that great of a football program over the years, but they certainly play some really good schools. That is our 6th mock draft. We'll be doing this again real soon. Hey, and one more time, you want to run a mock draft for us on the YouTube channel, and we'll share it on a podcast as well. Reach out to me, ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.